Okay, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Ecosystem Exchange webcast, Bluemix New Opportunities for Cloud Application Service Providers. My name is Steve Curtis, and I'll be your moderator for today's webcast. This webcast is being recorded, and if you have any objections, you can drop now. Let me turn it over to our speaker, Ellen Worms, from our Cloud Business Development Group. Ellen, take it away.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome, everyone. I appreciate your time today. I'm going to discuss with you IBM's new platform as a service-based offering, codename Bluemix. Every developer benefits from our Cloud Foundry-based open platform as a service environment to develop, test, and run their applications fast. There's no installing or maintaining images, middleware, runtimes, and tools. That's all abstracted away. You simply choose the services you need, such as mobile push, and integrate them with your application code using the runtimes you know, like Java, Node.js, Ruby, or other build pack that you bring yourself. And that could be Groovy, Python, etc. In summary, Bluemix is a polyglot environment with API services where you build, run, and manage those services. It's autonomic, self-healing, and self-scaling. And that's what we'll be discussing today. So, as I mentioned, this is codename Bluemix. It is in beta. So, IBM must share with you this disclaimer. Additionally, what I'd like to do is give you some history on what we did to devise this very innovative platform as a service environment based on Cloud Foundry. The first thing we did was study what developers today want and need. We assessed what are the table stakes services that they need to use, what are the application coding environments they're most likely to use, such as Node.js or PHP or Java. So we created a truly polyglot environment based on open standards such as Cloud Foundry. Bluemix is a sandbox because we're in beta, so there's no charge, except for this is unlike any sandbox the kids ever played in. This is an enterprise-grade environment for application developers to use. So as I stated, we assessed what are the requirements of today's cloud-centric developer. They want to explore, evaluate, prototype, understand the tools and services that are going to help them improve their application. They want to move quickly and see results fast. Their behavior is that they learn by tinkering and playing. They know they always need to build new skills in this rapidly changing world, such things as machine-to-machine interfaces, Internet of Things, mobile technology extending apps for those ever-changing needs. And they want the freedom to do this experimentation and learning without worrying about price right away. The other thing we've heard from managers of developers is that they're losing talented developers because they don't have access to the tools they want to use today. Many of them open source community tools, polyglot environments, many languages supported. They're very nervous that the developers are spending a lot of time integrating things that should naturally integrate. Runtimes, middleware, tools, and maintaining all of that just to get started writing their application code. They know their developers have the skill and talent to do that, but they also have the skill and talent to respond to customer needs, create innovative new application solutions, and deploy those cloud services rapidly. And so they want them focused. Managers want developers focused on where they bring the highest value to their company, which is that company's application code, their intellectual property, the differentiator of their solution in the marketplace from anybody else. as I mentioned before, customers are always putting new demands on all development organizations. As new mobile devices are introduced, as new social behaviors with regard to those devices continue to evolve, developers need to be agile and quick and respond to those changing behavioral patterns of the client, the consumer. And that requires a composable, rapid application development environment, composable services. Security is always top of mind, and we wanted to address all of these needs in our Bluemix platform as a service environment. So what you're seeing here on the left-hand side of the screen is a very high overview of the Bluemix environment. You come in, and at the very top, there are coding examples. It might be Java with an SQL database or Node.js. So helping a developer learn rapidly, I will provide coding examples integrated right there into the Bluemix framework. Then you'll see we have some circles in the next row down. Well, those circles represent the application development environments, such as Java, Node.js, PHP, Ruby. And the plus sign here means you can bring your own build pack. Let's say you're not used to using any of those application coding environments and runtimes. You're using maybe Python or Groovy. Well, you can bring your own build pack. So application runtime environments are represented with the circle. It's a polyglot environment, which is critical to developers. Many of those are open source application environments, also very critical to today's developers. As you move down on the left-hand side, you'll see hexagons. Well, those hexagons represent the services. And the whole Bluemix framework is tightly integrated with development ops, DevOps. So seamless development environment in which you can work. The services are API-based services, and they're very composable, fine-grained services. So if we're thinking mobile extensions, the service is a simple service such as push, and there are many other mobile services supported. But we're not talking just systems of engagement like mobile and Internet of Things and API services of that nature. We're also talking systems of record. What if you have an existing database that is stored on-premise or on another cloud that you want to access? Well, there are services that allow you to connect with those systems of records that already exist. And the same with extending SaaS apps. Drop in a SaaS app SDK and extend that with mobile and Internet of Things in this environment. Now, as I mentioned, we built the Bluemix framework on Cloud Foundry open source. We're a founding member of the board. Open for IBM is a facilitator of our cloud ecosystem, and it is of huge importance to the developers that we serve. So open is critical. And we continue to integrate open source into our offerings, both IBM's offerings and our industry partners. Open is a fundamental part of our architecture. And the Cloud Foundry environment has many open frameworks, such as Node, Ruby. You'll see those are integrated into the Bluemix environment, or services such as MongoDB, RabbitMQ. So these open source community services are supported right in Bluemix. Not only that, but Bluemix is based on Cloud Foundry. Cloud Foundry is a very important open source environment with thousands of contributions, hundreds of thousands of lines of code. In addition to that, IBM, we're blessed with Angel Diaz, who's a VP of Software Standards, And he has a blog about open architecture, which you can link to from ibm.com/Bluemix, and that's posted in the chat, ibm.com/Bluemix. And on his blog, he addresses advances in open cloud architecture beyond the infrastructure as a service layer, all the way up the stack through the platform as a service layer, such as Bluemix, and the software as a service. And this is increasingly important to the customers that we service here in IBM. And there are many other important stakeholders associated with Cloud Foundry, like MongoDB. So again, Angel Diaz's blog is a great resource to learn about all that IBM is doing in the open source community across the stack at ibm.com/Bluemix. This is a closer-up view of what I mentioned earlier, which is the run times, which are circles. You can see them here. It's a polyglot environment. Many run times are already deeply integrated. We're adding more during the beta, or you can bring your own build pack. And again, one that may not be supported today, like Groovy or PHP. Bring your own. We meet you where you are at as a developer. Some of you may be familiar with JazzHub, our DevOps environment. That's an integral part of the framework. We've rebranded that Bluemix DevOps, and that's an integral part of the experience the developer will have when using the Bluemix environment. Systems of engagement like Internet of Things. You'll find API-based services in support of that, in support of mobile, app, and databases. And again, you can see here the databases from the open source community that we just discussed, MongoDB, MySQL. We have IBM services in the data realm like Blue Data Warehouse, MapReduce, big data, as well as IBM created services like SQL database. In addition to having IBM created services, open source community services, you are also going to see that IBM is bringing in third-party services, and these are certified services. And today we're just starting in the Bluemix beta to populate our Bluemix environment with some of those services, such as Twilio, geolocation services for things like having a GPS location and getting back the address and vice versa. So you'll be seeing more and more of those certified services coming out. We continue to build on this platform. And back to the point of being polyglot, this is really important no matter what type of organization you as a developer happen to reside in, an enterprise, an independent software vendor, a systems integrator, a born-on-the-cloud company, or a startup. Sort of a different lens or view into the value for you, let's say as an ISV that is well-established and selling your solution, SaaS cloud solution, into an enterprise. You probably have a lot of developer skills on Java and SQL. Those are the runtimes and databases that you're accustomed to using. Well, we meet you right where you're at with Liberty for Java and SQL database. So that's important. We meet you where you're at, and you can continue to build your skills in the more cloud-centric open source community runtimes and services right here in the Bluemix environment. Again, it's for learning, experimenting in a secure environment that's enterprise class. And there's a no charge during beta, and there will be a no charge freemium version for limited time use when our product becomes generally available. If you're a systems integrator, an SI, then you probably have some core intellectual property application code, but you have to customize that for every engagement. And you're seeing more and more engagements that require Internet of Things or mobile extensions. So this is a great environment in which to rapidly extend and deploy your cloud services based on that core application code that you repeatedly use. If you're a born-on-the-cloud company, you're probably used to acquiring your middleware, your tools, whether it's open source or something you procure, managing, setting up those images, managing those images, integrating those images, and doing all of that work before you even get started developing your service. Well, that's all abstracted away with Bluemix. You're writing to API services that are already all available, auto-provisioning based on your needs. They're integrated, they're tested, they're right here. So you're just coding to the API service. Great value, not just in your building of your service, but the deployment and running of your service. All that infrastructure level work that you used to do is abstracted away, driving down the amount of time you would need to create your build time environment or manage the deployment of your service. And if you're a startup, great value proposition. You get up and running very quickly with the tools you're accustomed to using and get your service deployed and out into the marketplace rapidly. Great value proposition based on your view into the business. Okay, so in summary, the Bluemix value proposition, you get up and running in a simple environment with great speed. We provide code examples right inside of Bluemix, or you are very welcome to go out and Google some code, maybe a polling application. Bring that in and set up your runtime in less than 2 minutes. Everything you need to write a modern application is pre-integrated and pre-configured. Self-service to start with, freemium version at general availability, and then scale and make money. Open and flexible. Bluemix framework and services are based on open standards. Cloud Foundry, we discussed that at length. Open source community services like MongoDB or frameworks such as Node.js, all right there integrated into the environment. And if you need more, you can find it in the marketplace, which I'll talk about next. So we're a brand you can trust, IBM, secure, integrated environment. Enterprise clients is a sweet spot of whom we serve, and they too, we're taking them on the journey into the platform as a service environment, helping them build out new cloud solutions to service their customers and their enterprise, all from within a Bluemix environment. So I hope that this gives you a nice overview of what the Bluemix environment is all about. We want you to get started with Bluemix at bluemix.net. When you go to bluemix.net, you're going to see codename Bluemix is now open. Just join the beta. Click on that button and join the beta. Join in. There's no charge during beta. It's not a production environment. There's no charge during the entire beta time, right? So just in summary, register for Bluemix now, bluemix.net. All righty. So when I talked about extending any services that you may need in Bluemix, the way our strategy is positioned is that we're going to be doing that through an IBM partner catalog, which will be integrated into ibm.com/cloud. So on ibm.com/cloud today, you'll see how we're organizing our services. And we have many services already up there in our SaaS portfolio, which is the business category. There are over 100 software as a service solutions from IBM. The developer category, based on your role as a developer, is the Bluemix environment, bringing you right into the platform as a service. And Ops, a cornerstone of our operations service, is our recent acquisition of SoftLayer, infrastructure as a service, as a private, public, cloud, or bare metal, and many other infrastructure as a service solutions are also available there. So we're structuring everything we do around the IBM catalog in the form of the role of the end user, business developer or operations. So in addition to the IBM catalog, we are now in a limited preview of the IBM Partner Marketplace. It's a dedicated area on IBM.com for IBM customers to discover and experiment with enterprise cloud services that run and deploy in software and are available from IBM partners and vendors. So the Partner Marketplace, we welcome companies that have cloud-based services to join now at ibm.biz/preview. Vendor partners participate. We are looking for vendors that have lasting cloud solutions that are appropriate for the enterprise. And if you're a startup, that may mean you because you have a very innovative solution that you want to sell into the enterprise, help them innovate their businesses. It may be a SaaS solution for which you want the SDKs to be available, or the SaaS solution itself running on software, development tools, mobile environments, infrastructure, and analytics. We are in limited preview mode with GA planned for later this year. So just to talk about the qualifications, if you have a cloud service you want to stand up in the IBM Partner Marketplace limited preview, the service needs to run on SoftLayer, which is our infrastructure as a service environment. And by the way, Bluemix is running on top of SoftLayer. So if you're in Bluemix, that is running in SoftLayer. Deployable to our SoftLayer infrastructure as a service, right? Or drive Bluemix usage on SoftLayer. We want you to have a service that's in production by the time we go general availability with paying customers. So that's later this year. So we'll take you on the journey if you're also in beta. We're looking for, right now, key areas like in database, messaging, mobile development tools, security, analytics, monitoring, e-signature, geolocation services, and others. We want to really populate our marketplace with the kinds of services that our enterprises want to use. We are also integrating our catalog directly with Bluemix. So if you're in the Bluemix environment and need an additional service, you'll be able to find it in our catalog and have it tightly integrated with Bluemix. During the limited preview, we're asking for our vendors to be U.S.-based, or if you're a foreign company, have a U.S. subsidiary like an Inc., be able to support live customers, also have a free edition with basic support, trial support in the cloud environment, a free edition, a premium edition is pretty much a requirement. That's the business model, so we do ask that you have that. And the integration will be through APIs into the marketplace. So integration into the marketplace is onboarding into the marketplace. It's fast and easy, right? So there's a brief agreement that you need to sign, that you understand that this is a beta version, right? So the agreement is just during our limited preview. Come up and get practiced with us on getting your service stood up in our partner marketplace. We'll even help you create that first service. Initially, you might want to just list your service as a referral. That's very quick and easy, about a day to do it, and to tell us the information that you want to stand up in the catalog, and then we'll create that listing for you. What we are asking, though, is if you're not running on a SoftLayer or Bluemix environment today, or have patterns that are in the SoftLayer pattern beta, that you plan on moving to one of those environments within the next 45 days or so, because then you'll have APIs that are tightly integrated on the onboarding process with the provisioning capabilities to launch your service right there in the IBM cloud. So we have future plans for the commercial model. So I'll just give you a high-level view of what the commercial plans are. The details are in development, but it will be where IBM is invoicing the customer and collecting the payments, and then there'll be pay the vendor, the supplier, a royalty based on that. And the vendor will be responsible for the cost of their delivery, including infrastructure. So if you are interested in examining the marketplace limited preview, you can go to ibm.biz/preview. Or if you're interested in joining now, please also go to that environment. So now what I would like to do is give you a very high-level introduction to the partner marketplace. I'm going to share my screen with you. So here is what the marketplace looks like. At the top, there's the scrolling advertisement for specific cloud-based services that are in the catalog, whether it's at the infrastructure layer, like the soft layer, or at the PaaS layer, like Internet of Things, or at the runtime layer, like PHP from Zend. So I just clicked on Zend, and I want to find out what has Zend stood up in the marketplace. You can see an overview of their offering, the Zend PHP runtime. You can see the features of their offering. There's an area for review, which this is in limited preview, so that hasn't happened yet. Support information, additional resources from Zend, which you can see here, such as YouTube videos, and then the pricing and addition information, and you click on this and you would buy now. So that's a simple introduction of what one of the runtime services would look like. And now let's say you want to look at a database service. So let's just go to a database service. Here's one right here, Cloudant. So Cloudant as a service is stood up here for people to try and buy. And there's, again, the overview of the Cloudant service. There are tags, right? Infrastructure, data store, mobile, tools. And then the try and buy edition, you can also see that there. So that's a quick overview. With that, I'd like to see if there are any questions, and I will turn this over to Steve Curtis.
Yeah, thanks, Ellen. We have a question in the chat that came in that basically it said, so you build in Bluemix, they show up in the catalog, and if you're running on SoftLayer, you can participate in the marketplace. Is that correct? If you're not on SoftLayer, it ends with the catalog. Is that right?
If you're not on SoftLayer today, you can stand up in the marketplace as a referral, which was the example of Zend that I showed you. So there'll be a redirect to your URL where you have a free version. That's not the permanent state we want to have with you. We want to have a great experience for the end client, the enterprise user. So we'll work with you to get your service moved over to SoftLayer. So it's a totally integrated environment in the catalog. But we can start with the referral and get you up and running in a day or two in the catalog with a longer-term plan to get you stood up in SoftLayer for the fully integrated environment. So it's a day to onboard if it's just referral. Pretty simple. It's just really standing up marketing information about your offering. The standard approach, though, it's about a 3-week process for an engineer to code to the API so that the provisioning can also be done. So we can do it in 2 steps. That's fine.
Okay, great. We also had another question about whether or not there was any classroom education training available for developers.
Yes, there is. At our worldwide innovation centers, around the world, we are offering, so far we have scheduled 200 individual days of Bluemix training. And we ran some a couple weeks ago, Silicon Valley, Waltham, and Dallas. We're running them in Europe right now. And we'll cycle back through to most of those locations. It's a one-day session, 45-minute overview of Bluemix, and then a hands-on working lab for developers. Mm-hmm.
Great. And I think you've answered a couple other questions came in about just getting started with Bluemix, and I think that you covered that with joining the Bluemix beta. And then there was a question about getting access to the limited preview marketplace.
Yes, so the limited preview marketplace, ibm.biz/preview. You go there and you can join now, or you can use your IBM single sign-on and take a look at the offering I just showed you. Go in and browse around for yourself. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that it concludes. I don't see any other questions that have come in on the chat. I'm going to go ahead in the chat window and provide a link to a survey, and if you have additional questions, you can also enter it into that survey. And that concludes our webcast today. Thank you, everybody, for your participation, and we'll see you on the next webcast.